Ali Larijani, Iran's ultimate political survivor, a man who had outlasted presidents, outmaneuvered rivals, and quietly accumulated more institutional power than almost anyone in the Islamic Republic outside of Khamenei himself. Born into a prominent clerical family, he spent 4 decades moving between every lever of Iranian power: head of state broadcasting, chief nuclear negotiator, parliament speaker for 12 consecutive years. He was the man Khamenei trusted to negotiate the nuclear file, manage relations with Russia and China, and project the voice of the supreme leader to the outside world in language Western diplomats could actually hear. On March 17, 2026, a U.S.-Israeli airstrike hit a Tehran suburb where he was visiting his daughter. He was killed along with his son. He was 67 years old. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran for 37 years, holding absolute authority over the military, the judiciary, the nuclear program, and the entire direction of Iranian foreign policy. He had built the Axis of Resistance, a network of militias, missiles, and political influence stretching from Yemen to Lebanon, designed to encircle Israel and exhaust American power without direct Iranian confrontation. By late February 2026, warplanes hit the compound where Khamenei and the senior leadership had gathered. He was 86. His daughter, son-in-law, and granddaughter were killed alongside him. Yahya Sinwar, the supreme leader of Hamas inside Gaza and the man who planned the October 7th, 2023 attack, the deadliest single day for Jewish people since the Holocaust. Sinwar had spent 23 years inside Israeli prisons, using every one of them to study his captors, learn Hebrew, and design in his mind what a decisive strike against Israel would require. After his release in a 2011 prisoner exchange, he built the tunnel network beneath Gaza into a vast underground city. When the attack came, it killed approximately 1,200 people and took around 250 hostages. On October 16, 2024, Israeli soldiers moving through ruins in Rafah encountered 3 men on foot and fired. Then only when troops examined the bodies did they realize one was Sinwar, Hassan Nasrallah. He led Hezbollah for 32 years and transformed it from a militia into one of the most formidable armed organizations on Earth. Under his command, Hezbollah accumulated over 150,000 rockets pointed at Israel, developed a political wing in Lebanon's parliament, and fought Israel to a stalemate in 2006, in a way no Arab military had managed in decades. Nasrallah rarely appeared in public and was considered virtually untouchable by Israeli intelligence for most of his tenure. After October 7th triggered the Gaza war, Hezbollah began daily rocket fire into northern Israel. On September 27, 2024, Israeli warplanes dropped dozens of heavy bunker-busting bombs on Hezbollah's underground headquarters in the southern suburbs of Beirut. Nasrallah was inside. The strike killed him and several senior commanders simultaneously. Qasem Soleimani, the commander of Iran's Quds Force and for 2 decades, the most powerful military strategist in the Middle East. Soleimani built proxy militias in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen that functioned as extensions of Iranian power without Iranian troops ever officially crossing a border. American officials held him directly responsible for the deaths of over 600 U.S. service members. He moved openly, appeared at front lines, and was photographed alongside militia commanders with an almost theatrical confidence. On January 3, 2020, a U.S. drone tracked his convoy as it left Baghdad International Airport and fired. The Trump administration called it a defensive strike against an imminent threat. The killing brought the United States and Iran to the edge of direct war within hours. Osama bin Laden, the founder of al-Qaeda and the man responsible for the September 11, 2001 attacks that killed 2,977 people and altered the trajectory of the entire 21st century. The war in Afghanistan was launched specifically to find him. He slipped between Afghanistan and Pakistan and vanished for nearly a decade, communicating through hand-delivered messages while the world's most sophisticated surveillance apparatus searched. Patient intelligence work tracking his personal courier network led to a fortified compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, less than a mile from a Pakistani military academy. On May 2, 2011, President Obama authorized Navy SEAL Team 6 to enter Pakistan without notifying its government. They moved through the compound floor by floor and shot bin Laden on the upper level. His body was identified through DNA and buried at sea before sunrise the next day. Saddam Hussein. Then he ruled Iraq for 24 years and embodied one of the most telling contradictions in American foreign policy. A man Washington first armed, then destroyed. During the Iran-Iraq War, the U.S. provided satellite intelligence and diplomatic cover, even as he used chemical weapons against Kurdish civilians. That partnership collapsed when he invaded Kuwait in 1990. After September 11th, the Bush administration claimed he possessed weapons of mass destruction and links to al-Qaeda. Saddam spent 9 months in hiding before soldiers found him in an underground hole near Tikrit, unshaven and clutching a pistol he chose not to use. He was tried for crimes against humanity and hanged on December 30th, 2006. The execution circulated globally within hours. The vacuum left by his removal eventually gave birth to ISIS. Salvador Allende. The democratically elected socialist president of Chile and the living proof of something Washington desperately did not want the world to see: that socialism could win through the ballot box. Allende nationalized industries, including copper mines that American corporations had long treated as their own. The Nixon administration, directed by Henry Kissinger, decided a functioning socialist democracy was a greater strategic threat than any military dictatorship. The CIA flooded Chile with money to destabilize his government and worked directly with Chilean military officers willing to act. On September 11, 1973, General Pinochet launched a coup. Air Force jets bombed the presidential palace in Santiago. Allende died inside. The official conclusion was suicide. Mohammad Mosaddegh. The democratically elected Prime Minister of Iran and the first leader of the United States helped remove through a covert operation, setting a template Washington would quietly follow for decades. Mosaddegh nationalized the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company, seizing control of oil fields that British corporations had extracted from for years. Britain lobbied the Eisenhower administration hard, framing him as a communist sympathizer. The CIA and British intelligence launched Operation Ajax in 1953, paying street gangs to riot, bribing military officers and flooding Iranian media with propaganda until his government collapsed. Yahya Mosaddegh was arrested and spent the rest of his life under house arrest. The Shah was reinstalled and proved far more agreeable to Western oil arrangements. The CIA kept the operation classified for 60 years before acknowledging it in 2013. His removal planted a seed of distrust toward America that grew into the soil of the 1979 revolution. And that wraps up 9 figures whose lives, decisions, and deaths drew the map of the modern Middle East, and in some cases erased it entirely. From Mossadegh's overthrow in a CIA-backed coup in 1953 to the killing of a sitting supreme leader in 2026, each of these men played a different role in a much larger arc of power, resistance, and consequence that is still being written today. If you found this breakdown useful and want more deep explanations of the leaders, operations, and turning points that shaped the world you're living in, make sure to support the channel. Like the video if it gave you something to think about, subscribe for more explained content, and share this with someone who wants to understand history beyond the headlines. And if there's a figure, a conflict, or an operation you'd like to see explained next, let me know in the comments.